You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Coming up, a mass shooting in northeast Oklahoma leaves one person dead and several others injured.
We got a beautiful holiday on the forecast, but thunderstorms by the time we get to Tuesday, the latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
Also, NASA plans to reignite interest in space exploration by exploring the moon. All that and more coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Bronte Sorotsky. One person is dead and 7 others injured following a shooting at a Memorial Day festival. The shooting happened in the small community of Taft just after midnight. Taft is in Muskogee County, just west of Muskogee, Oklahoma. According to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, one person was killed. At least 7 others were injured. 2 of those were minors. Witnesses say they heard at least 40 shots fired. The OSBI says the investigation is continuing and no arrests have been made. Well, staying in northeast Oklahoma, the Grand River Dam Authority police are searching for a missing boater. Officials say they're searching a large area of Grand Lake for 48-year-old Troy Young of Bixby. GRDA police say they were notified Young was missing around 8 a.m. Saturday morning, and that Young was last seen around 10:30 Friday night. Officers recovered Young's boat near the entrance of Ketchum Cove, about 1.5 miles from Cedar Port. Authorities are asking any boaters in the area to be mindful of the search efforts, and anyone with information is asked to call the GRDA police. The Wichita Police Department responded to a shooting at the banquet hall on East 25th Street during a large graduation party. Officials say that's where they found 17-year-old Boise Bearfield shot. He later died at a hospital. Police say during the party, there was a disturbance between 2 groups that led up to shots being fired, striking Boise. 15-year-old female victim who was fleeing the business during all of it was hit by a car at the intersection of 25th Street North and Estelle. That driver was identified as 18-year-old Samara Rockmore, who fled the scene in her vehicle. The 15-year-old victim was transported to an area hospital where she later died from her injuries. Rockmore, the driver, was later located and arrested and booked for felony hit and run. That investigation is ongoing. This weekend at the Hideout Harley-Davidson, the Four Kings Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club hosted a car and motorcycle show for Memorial Weekend. The event was held to raise money for police officers, firefighters, and other first responders and military.
That money is used directly for anybody injured or just in need. Any officer, EMT, firefighter, military, that's what we're here to help for. Military, all these first responders, they don't make a lot of money. So when in their time of need, we want to be there financially to help them out as best we can.
Four Kings is a non-for-profit club. Katy Days kicked off Friday in Parsons, Kansas. Katy Days celebrates the first Missouri-Kansas-Texas train arriving in southeast Kansas area that was later known to be Parsons. In addition to a parade, activities included food and railroad-related fun.
From somebody who, this is my hometown, this is where I grew up, and to leave and start my life, but have that opportunity to come back, it's amazing to see the camaraderie of the people and to see how people have bounced back after such a terrible event. And we are Parsons. Parsons is strong.
The fun started at 11 a.m. and went until 10:30 at night to wrap up the festival. Local veterans are paying tribute to our local fallen heroes. On Saturday, the American Legion Post 13 hosted a veterans recognition ceremony. The group set flags at our veterans' graves and had a 21-gun salute and played taps as a tribute to those who have died. Despite all being veterans themselves, they say they still take care of other veterans in the community.
We need to honor the veterans. It's a major sacrifice that they've given, and even if they didn't die in the war, if they died afterwards, the fact that they served their country is something that we all need to honor, and Memorial Day is the perfect day to do that.
The group also honored one member's father, a World War II veteran who passed away during the pandemic and never received military honors when buried. That veteran was honored. Movie crews are in Joplin shooting scenes for an upcoming Christian film. KOAM's Ty Parks checked it out.
All right, and action. Get out here right now.
Yeah, Undefiled is a faith-based film, and it is about a man who had a rough childhood and struggles with addiction, and lives his life kind of in the shadow of his father, and struggles with that his whole life, but toward the end finds that there is hope at the end of that tunnel.
Yeah, this guy, he is a man who has, I would say you've heard of generational curses. So he's playing from that perspective hard. He knows what he wants, a hard guy, and he wants to vicariously live through his son.
So Taj, you are going to be kind of where you started here.
Well, I'm local, and some of my crew is local. Light of Life Films is local. Saved us a little bit of money by being able to do it here. It actually allowed us to support the community as well, and a humongous part of the community has jumped in and helped us with this. A lot of people, and so we are so thankful to Joplin and the Joplin area for helping us. A lot of people.
Action.
I'll decide what this child needs.
He's just a boy.
Just a boy? This boy is an embarrassment to our name.
The movie is expected to be released next spring, a limited release in movie theaters. So, did you know that the tallest man to ever live was 8 feet, 11.1 inches tall, and the largest parade of kite surfers took 596 people? Well, there's a new Guinness World Record for the largest number of people dressed as vampires in one place.
It has nothing to do with like being the tallest or anything like that.
No, those were the records. So
right.
This is a new record. So 1,369. So all those people, they met up at Whitby Abbey in North Yorkshire, England, to celebrate the 125th anniversary of the publication of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Fitting, since the Gothic horror tale was said to have been inspired by Stoker's trip to Whitby in 1890. But so you couldn't wear just any kind of vampire look. It's like no Twilight or anything like that. No Interview with the Vampire. That was a no-go too.
Why?
Costumes, apparently they had to be...
Anne Rice is one of the greatest authors of all time.
They had to include black shoes, black trousers, or a dress, waistcoat, shirt, black cape, or collared overcoat and fangs on top of your, normal teeth. And the vampires needed to stand together in the same place for 5 minutes to break the record. Easy enough for the undead.
So here's my thing about what you just said, like no Interview with a Vampire. Bram Stoker is pretty much known for one novel. Mm-hmm. And as a great novel it is. Other than that, like he did a lot of stuff on the side. Anne Rice, on the other hand, is one of the preeminent authors in American history in the past 50 years. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that you say no Interview with a Vampire, I'm like, I take offense to that. I think Anne Rice is great.
Well, I'm sorry to have offended. I think you'll have to take it up with someone else other than me. But
yeah, I actually, this is a true story. I'm gonna tell you a true story right now.
All right.
I ran into Anne Rice one time in New Orleans, early morning, out of the blue, and I looked at her and I went, "You're Anne Rice," and she was like. I was a young kid. She goes, "Yes, I am." I was like, "Oh my God! Oh my God! You're Anne Rice!" And I had nothing for her to autograph. I didn't have a piece of paper. I didn't have a pen. Mm-hmm. How would you not want Anne Rice's autograph?
So, what was your solution?
And she said, "Kid, I'm going to leave you with this. You don't want my autograph. You want a story."
Wow.
And I went, "Oh my God." Like, it made sense to me. She's like, you don't want my name on a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. What you want to do is you want to tell people you met me. And I was like, I never thought about that before. And I'm like, yeah. And Anne Rice left me with a story.
Well,
which is what she's great at.
well, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, from vampire, you know what vampires do not like? High glow
I'm
cloud.
guessing it's that thing we're looking at right there in the sky.
Well, you can call it the glow cloud.
The what?
The glow cloud.
The glow cloud?
Right.
That is a term I've never heard until
Why do you
just
not
now.
you don't like that terminology?
I just never heard it, so I'm like processing. I'm gonna start calling it that now.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a really glow cloudy day today.
Yeah, always, no, Mother Nature would prefer if you always called it the glow cloud.
Okay, noted. Well, I know you guys have a,
Well, and I have a T-shirt that says the glow cloud.
do you actually? Can
Yeah,
I borrow it and then wear it on air?
I might.
I'll,
I might. All right, we got a windy one on our hands, Bronte. Already gusting up to 26 miles per hour at Joplin Regional Airport. Our temperatures, I tell you what, you walk outside right now, it is absolutely perfect. But that being said, we have to remind ourselves that if you're traveling east-west today, we do have wind advisories that, excuse me, are in effect. And those are going to last until this afternoon as we're going to gust up to 40 miles per hour. Speaking of the afternoon, when we get there, we'll be sitting about, say, 85, 86 degrees. Humidity not going to be a problem. So don't worry about it like feeling like 90. And then, yeah, we're going to open up June with, you guessed it, rainfall. So we get Monday and Tuesday are going to be delightful. Now, we get into Tuesday afternoon and evening. Here we go. Thunderstorm activity with Gulf moisture that pushes up and lasts us all the way through the middle of next week. Going to keep those rain chances around 30 to 40% all the way to next weekend.
okay, well, like I said, I'm soaking in these next 2 days. The sun, the glow cloud.
Which is funny because soaking would be rain. You
Maybe I did
use
that on purpose.
glow cloud, and we just came off a story about vampires.
It's funny how things all work out. All right, well, up next, the number of mysterious hepatitis cases in children goes up worldwide. And later, it's Memorial Day, which means it's time to remember and honor those who gave their lives to serve this country. We'll show you why it's so important to do so. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. In Health Watch this morning, the number of sudden and mysterious hepatitis cases in children has gone up to at least 650 worldwide. That's according to the World Health Organization Friday. About a third of the cases are in the UK and 216 have been reported in the US. Around 75% of the patients are under 5 and had been healthy before this illness. Common viruses known to cause hepatitis have been ruled out. Researchers are also looking into environmental exposures, toxins, and perhaps co-infectious with another virus. More than 1 million kids in the U.S. aged 14 to 17 became daily tobacco users from 2017 to 2019. University of California, San Diego researchers found more than 3/4 of those teens were using e-cigarettes daily. They say vaping is reversing decades of decline in tobacco addiction. And a large study of parents with infants finds many are not sticking to a safe sleep practice after their baby wakes up in the middle of the night. The survey published in Pediatrics found that after nighttime waking, a large proportion of parents switched from safe to unsafe practices like not sleeping on their back or sleeping in their parents' bed. And researchers at MIT have found a new way to help the medicine go down. They've developed a drug-delivering gel made from plant oils that is easier to swallow than traditional liquids and also stable without refrigeration. They plan to begin a clinical trial within months. And an ancient discovery in Mexico. Archaeologists unearthed what they believe to be an ancient Mayan city. While looking at a site in the outskirts of the Mexican city of Merida, the archaeologists found 5 large palaces, which they think housed priests and scribes, as well as several pyramid-style structures, plazas, and even simpler houses they believed common people lived in. Archaeologists also discovered arrowheads, clay pots, vases, and seashells, among other items.
All right, let's scroll down on a prompter here. I know that was in Mexico. What civilization do they think it was from?
I need to double check.
No, it caught my attention when you started
Yeah.
like talking about it.
It was an ancient Mayan city.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, how did it go that long undiscovered?
Right?
That's crazy.
I'm so interested in the process of that and keeping everything preserved. How when you like unearth something like that.
Yeah, Tim, you're awesome. No, it's crazy to think that of all the discoveries that we've made and everything, you find something and after they unearth it, number one, it looks that pristine.
Yeah.
Number two, Lord knows with the technology and the science that the Mayans were able to put together, there are probably other things in there that we're going to be like, oh my gosh, how did they put all this? We think it's crazy because we have modern technology.
Right.
They were doing this centuries ago.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
Well, a little, maybe a little shout out to people that were doing it a whole lot longer than us.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. All right, Bronte, here's the definitive line of our cold front that sits out to our northwest. And so what that means is you get on the east side of this, it is going to be a delightful Memorial Day. We have absolutely no weather concerns as we will end up into the mid-80s. However, it is going to be today and tomorrow when you need to seize the day, because as we get into Tuesday night, we have thunderstorm activity. The Gulf moisture reappears, and what that will do is give us heavy thunderstorm activity for Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. So the lack of humidity for today and tomorrow, that's going to be delightful. And please thank a veteran and thank a family of a veteran, and do that from all of us at KOAM and FOX14. We'll be back with more morning news right after this. NASA is hoping to rekindle interest in American space exploration by starting with a familiar target. That space rock, that thing out there we call the moon. Matt Napolitano has more on this edition of Fox on Tech.
Ignition.
Scientific discovery, economic benefits, and inspiration, all the foundation of NASA's Artemis plan, missions to the moon using innovative technologies to explore more of the lunar surface than ever before. However, the plan is to take that knowledge beyond the moon and further into the galaxy.
We're not going straight to Mars because there's a lot of technologies that we need to develop closer to home in a safer environment before we actually go out and go to Mars and create a sustainable settlement there.
Camille Calabeo is an aerospace engineer whose The Galactic Gal platform has gained her significant notoriety on social media. She believes there are multiple industries that could look to capitalize on further exploration of the moon and beyond, including transportation, mining, and construction.
You mine, say, water, and then you turn that into oxygen and hydrogen, or you can actually use that water for things like propellant.
Calabeo notes that the forthcoming Artemis plan, set for liftoff in August, will effectively be a launch pad for even more possibilities, including habitats on the moon, but there's still far more research to be done before that can come to fruition.
A really important topic that scientists and engineers are addressing right now is radiation on the moon. So it's outside of the radiation protection that we have around Earth in low Earth orbit, but we still need to shield our astronauts and tourists, right, from the radiation.
And with these Artemis missions, NASA will make history with the first woman to land on the moon, as well as the first person of color. In New York, Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
I had to laugh coming out of that. We were in the middle of that story, and Bronte just yelled, "I loathe the space rock." I did not. And I was like, I thought that was a little uncalled for, that she just referred to the moon as like the space rock. It's like, Bronte, like, settle down. 73 degrees right now over 7th and Range. Poor Bronte. 73 degrees right now. You notice the last wind gust we had, 26 miles per hour. And we're just going to get windier and windier as we get on today, which is why we have wind advisories throughout the majority of the 4 states, probably about 90% encountered on that. Be very careful. If you're going east and west, that's going to be problematic. Little cloud cover out to the west. Really, anything that we see, for those of you in the Chanute, Erie, Fredonia area. That's going to equivocate to a raindrop or two. It will not be sustained. It will not last all day. Please do not let that have any bearing on your Memorial Day plans. And I hope everybody has a great holiday. And once again, from all of us at KOAM and FOX14, for those of you who have served and for those of you that have a family member who paid the ultimate sacrifice, we thank you. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
It's time to honor today's four-state hero, Donald Peckman. Private First Class Peckman served in the Army from 1942 to 1944, where he was killed in action. He earned a Purple Heart. We thank you, today's four-state hero, Donald Peckman. Well, this Memorial Day weekend, local veterans are taking the time to honor those the holiday is all about, our fallen heroes. We take a look at the importance of taking the time to honor those who sacrificed so much for our freedom.
Hey! Ready! Hey!
This Memorial Day weekend, many people everywhere will be traveling or just enjoying an extra day off. But local veterans want people to remember why we can take a day off in the first place.
If it wasn't for the veterans, we may not be having Memorial Day. They're the ones that saved the country, that made this country, and continue to serve every day of the year for it. American Legion, even though we're all veterans, we still continue to serve both the community and our veterans.
The American Legion Post 13 is honoring veterans with the help of Peace Church Cemetery, ensuring they receive the respect they deserve.
Today we're putting flags on the veterans' graves. We've asked the American Legion Post 13 to come and join with us and put those veterans' flags on their graves. And so we'll be marching around to each veteran's graves that we have names up for.
They place an emphasis on ensuring our veterans are honored as a sign of gratitude for serving their country. One Post member's father who passed away was finally honored after not being able to.
One of our members, Dick Bourne, his father died, and he was a World War II vet, and at the time that he died, for some reason, the government was pretty well shut down, and so he never got his military honors when they buried him. So Dick asked if today, while when we fire our volleys and play taps, if we get on here his father also, and we're very proud to do that.
The Post wants people to think about and honor those who passed away, and remember why we have the freedom to celebrate this day. For information on more Memorial Day ceremonies happening in the four states, head to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Another half hour of news and weather just ahead, coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Americans who traveled over Memorial Day via the skies flew into some problems, and the blood shortage in America continues on. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Authorities arrest another suspect and give more details about a Pittsburgh murder case. Pittsburgh police said authorities have arrested 19-year-old Dominic Short in connection with shootings this month in Pittsburgh. A warrant had been issued for Short on May 18th. U.S. Marshals and deputies with the Greene County, Missouri Sheriff's Office arrested Short last night in Springfield without incident. The charges against Short include first-degree murder. At last report, Short was jailed in Greene County, awaiting extradition back to Kansas. The case stems from the May 13th shootings at multiple addresses on the 100 block of West 23rd Street in Pittsburgh. 2 women were shot. 40-year-old Stephanie Short of Pittsburgh died at the scene, and 46-year-old Velma Kuby was in stable condition. In a news release, police say they determined multiple people had exchanged gunfire. Authorities had previously arrested James Hamilton of Pittsburgh in this case. He's charged with first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder, among other crimes. You can read more details about this case at our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The Mount Hope Christian Church of Christ hosted a potluck this weekend. At the event, they had a homemade ice cream competition with 3 entries. The homemade cookies and cream won the goal of the potluck is to increase fellowship in the community and among its members.
What I hope is the people who are maybe a little new get to feel more comfortable with everybody else, maybe get to know some of the people that, if you sit on different sides of the auditorium, get to know people you don't talk to every Sunday. and hopefully get a chance for people to feel like they can contribute, even if it's in a small way.
Mount Hope is located at 2830 Mount Hope Road in Webb City. Well, the Stotts City Country Roads Family Fun Farm is closing out their spring season. To wrap things up, they're celebrating by getting things ready for the summer by planting sunflowers that will bloom in July. Families have the chance to go on hay rides, create crafts, and interact with animals ranging from sheep to cows.
Obviously, some of our customers become like family. I've got a crew over here that has been, I think, the last 2 years off and on, and so we learn their names. We know them by name, sometimes first and last, and when they come in, they feel like family. It feels like they've come to a family's yard.
The Family Fun Farm reopens on July 3rd. St. Louis veterans worked with a local hospital to provide a burial with full military honors for a Navy vet with no known loved ones. The solemn ceremony was a powerful way to commemorate the true meaning of Memorial Day. Ryan Henson has the story.
One final ride for a man who put his life on the line for our country.
All veterans, they signed their name on a dotted line. They committed to protecting our country, protecting our freedoms. They all deserve their dignified burial.
Neil Nighthawk Hill leads the band of Patriot Guard riders through St. Louis to Jefferson Barracks, the final resting place of an unnamed veteran who died in Barnes Jewish Hospital's care.
So not much is known about the Navy veteran, but he served from 1967 to 72. And the Office of Decedent Affairs at Barnes Jewish Hospital says they looked for 6 months looking for loved ones left behind.
The BJC Veterans Connect group was side by side with Patriot Guard riders.
When people leave the military, the one thing they miss the most is those that served by their side. We never leave a comrade behind, and that's true even after we've hung up our uniform.
The Healthcare Network says care doesn't stop after a person passes on. Chandra White with Barnes Jewish Hospital heads the only Office of Decedent Affairs in the state. After an unsuccessful search of loved ones, she was happy a caring community was there in the end.
Make sure that you stay in touch with your family, and so when this time comes that they're there to represent your loved ones.
A special tribute just before Memorial Day weekend.
To be able to support this veteran, as all of us did today, and to receive that flag is very touching. I know all of us there were teary-eyed.
Well, happy birthday to the world's oldest man.
Whoa!
You
did not.
What?
You just pointed at me.
I wasn't
No. You so did.
I didn't do that on purpose.
Story, you pointed at me.
Michael, you're taking away from this man's birthday party. This is not about you. It's actually a celebration, and they're doing it in Venezuela. So this guy's name is Juan Vicente Perez Mora, he turned 113 years old. Just 10 days earlier, he was treated to some cake and even a parade through the streets of his village thrown in his honor. He has 11 children, 41 grandchildren, and 30 great and great-great-grandchildren combined. When asked what his secret to long life was, he said, quote, to work hard, rest on vacations, and to go to bed early.
Okay, well, if you have, I don't think going to bed early was exactly on his list. But if we can play this out when the video was going on, can you explain to everybody at home now watching when you said happy birthday to the world's oldest man? Can you do the gesticulation?
I think I did this.
No, you did not. You went.
I was not.
Yes, you were.
I was not making it towards you. I'm just talking with my hands.
Folks, what Bronte did was essentially when she said happy birthday to the world's oldest man, and she went like this toward the KOAM FOX14 Skywatch Weather Center. And
it's not on purpose.
Point taken.
It was not on purpose.
Right, they call those Freudian slips.
I just talk with my hands. I was doing this. I think I just overextended.
And you were like, world's oldest man.
I didn't even.
Has to be sitting over here by me.
Okay, I think I went like this far. Okay, I guess from this angle it kind of looks like I'm pointing at you.
Other than that, what you didn't also, what folks you didn't see, you did not see that while reading underneath that video, Bronte actually brought me a birthday cake while calling me the world's oldest man. And yeah, so that's how that went down. Appreciate that, Sorotsky. Good job by you. Way to get my day started. 73 degrees over a quiet 7th and Rangeline right now. Look at that wind. Last gust we had at Joplin Regional Airport picking up to 26 miles per hour. So we know we're going to be stuck in a blustery one, and we have wind advisories throughout. Here's the positive aspect. Number one, we'll get through today and tomorrow on the dry side. However, tomorrow night into Wednesday, thunderstorm activity rolling in with additional Gulf moisture and keeping our chances for rain as we open up the month of June. We'll be back with more KOAM morning news on Fox 14 right after this. This morning on the KOAM News Now Instapoll, gun control. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden landing in Texas to go to Uvalde. The President and First Lady mourning alongside the community, laying flowers at a memorial and embracing the elementary school's principal. Our question for you this morning, do you think lawmakers should pass new gun laws? Right now, 66% of you say yes, they should, coming off the heels of the latest school shooting. 34% of you say no, there's no reason to make any change. 2 ways to connect each and every morning. Go straight to the poll, KOAMnewsnow.com/vote, or connect to us via our Facebook page, KOAM News Now. All right, I got 2 kids. I've done this, like shopping for clothes. I get you. But it can also be fun at the same time. So Amazon's new apparel store is hoping technology and personalization is going to help all of us with kids help the stress melt away. Here's Ashley Strohmeyer with the story.
Amazon's first ever brick and mortar clothing store is reinventing the way we shop, promising customers in California a futuristic, high-tech, and stress-free personalized experience unlike anything else.
We're using machine learning technology, advanced operations, to shopping for clothes.
Gone are the days of combing through hangers of the same item to try and find your size. Amazon Style only features one of every item in its main shopping area. If you find something you like, you can scan its QR code to see the other available sizes, colors, and patterns it comes in.
I scanned it, my size is pre-selected, and I'm going to tap try on.
As you shop, employees in the back gather all your selections for your personalized fitting room, eliminating the need to carry around piles of clothes and wait in long lines.
I can shop hands-free, and I'll get a notification in the app when my fitting room's available.
Once inside your fitting room, you'll find workers also pulled extra pieces that complement your original selections. And items can continue being sent directly to your room in case you forgot something.
Our machine learning algorithms are using inputs that a customer is providing to us to help them find clothes that they like.
And when it comes to making a purchase, it's as easy as swiping your palm at the register to activate the card you have on file. Amazon beat out Walmart to officially become the largest clothing retailer in the country last year. No word yet on if more Amazon-style stores will be popping up in other states. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
Be back with consumer news right after this.
Baby formula is still in short supply. According to Data Assembly, which tracks product data, nearly 70% of formula was out of stock for the week ending May 21st. But easing the shortage, a second delivery from overseas, with the equivalent of about 1 million bottles, will be hitting shelves this week. Americans traveling in the air this Memorial Day weekend may have experienced some issues. The tracking website FlightAware reports there have been more than 5,000 cancellations since Friday, with those flying Delta Airlines most likely to see problems. Airlines have struggled to keep up with demand this year, in part due to staffing shortages, COVID, and this weekend. Stormy weather also added to the issues. And the F-18s in Top Gun Maverick took off as scheduled. The sequel from Paramount Global, the parent company of CBS and Paramount Pictures, soared to $124 million at the domestic box office in its first 3 days. It's Tom Cruise's best debut ever and one of the biggest for Memorial Day weekend. We'll be right back with another look at your forecast.
Medical workers and first responders warning of a critical shortage at a blood bank and asking people to make desperately needed donations. Jake Karolekis. I want to make sure I got Jake's name right. Jake Karolekis. He's got the story.
The American Red Cross says blood banks and hospitals like this one here in Atlanta are facing the worst blood shortage in more than a decade, and it's getting harder to treat people who are badly hurt or critically ill. Take a look at some of the most needed blood types. Type O negative in particular is in high demand because it can be used for any type of transfusion. Blood platelets are also desperately needed. They help control bleeding for injured people. Mass shootings like the one in Uvalde, Texas highlight the need for blood transfusions. When a lot of people are badly hurt, these donations can save lives.
A lot of injured patients are going to need a lot of blood products. They're going to need red cells. Some of them might need platelets if they get very sick. These blood products are used across the board. And by donating platelets or red cells, you're saving anywhere from a newborn to a 80, 90-year-old gentleman.
The Red Cross declared its first ever national blood crisis earlier this year, and there's been a 10% decline in the number of people donating blood since the pandemic. In Atlanta, Jake Karolekis, Fox News.
Live look over 7th and Rangeline. There were things that was just like banging in the studio. It got crazy. Live look over 7th and Rangeline with our current conditions being 73 degrees right now. Wind gusts coming already into 25 to 30 mile an hour. And so what that's going to mean is it's going to be blustery and it's going to be warm. But also remember, it's dry air. So the fact that we have the wind advisories, that is not too bad whatsoever, because that will keep it from feeling like it's 90 degrees. We'll push up into the high 80s. We'll see it in 86 and 88 every now and then. And then Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, thunderstorms. Yeah, we're going to open up June just the same way we close down May with more precipitation. Be back with more KOAM morning news on Fox 14 right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. President Biden and the First Lady spent Sunday in Uvalde, offering words of comfort as the small Texas city mourns. The Bidens met with families of the victims of last Tuesday's mass shooting that left 19 school children and 2 teachers dead. The Justice Department announced plans to review the multi-agency law enforcement response. Local authorities are facing criticism for the long delay in stopping the rampage. The baby formula shortage has gotten worse. Most recently, close to 70% of formula was out of stock nationwide, according to retail data from Data Assembly. That's despite shipments to the US and Germany, the UK and Australia. Every state is reporting empty shelves, with formula all but impossible to find in many cities. And panic broke out at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, early Sunday after a loud noise was heard from outside the arena. Apparently fearing gunfire, the crowd began to flee, but police say no shots were fired. Several people suffered minor injuries in the incident, which followed a boxing match.
Roll through today with temperatures that'll be up into the 80s for the afternoon. Great looking Memorial Day. I hope you get to spend time with friends and family. And then as we get into Tuesday, especially Tuesday evening, here we go. Gulf moisture rolls back in. Thunderstorm activity will take place from Tuesday night, carry us into Wednesday. We'll get sporadic dry air, but we're going to keep those chances of rain consistent in between 30 to 40% all the way into next weekend.
Well, astronomers are forecasting a chance of a spectacular meteor storm late Monday night or early Tuesday morning. The night sky on Memorial Day could be lit up by as many as 1,000 shooting stars in an hour, or it could be a complete dud. Astronomers are hoping what they call the Tau Herculid meteor shower will be something extra special this year. That's because its parent comet has been disintegrating, which Space.com says could result in an otherworldly light show. Some astronomers say if the meteor storm, if it occurs, could even last an hour or two. NASA's Meteoroid Environment Office says the peak may be around 1 a.m. Tuesday and should be visible high in the sky over North America. That is, if the heavens cooperate.
So I was talking to the kids about that. Like the best thing to do, number one, you're gonna need a telescope.
Mm-hmm.
You're like not naked eye. Number two, you gotta get out of town. I mean, you need to go county road cruising and find yourself an extremely dark spot. Once you get there, yeah. But I don't want people to think they can walk out on their back porch.
And just see this show.
Yeah, and think it's like you're watching a movie or something. No. But yeah, it's very possible, and something I'm going to partake in tonight into tomorrow morning.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We will be back with more news and weather when we see you at noon.